What accusations, lawsuits, and investigations does Donald Trump face? The first time this has happened to a former US president, New York prosecutors made history by accusing Donald Trump of a crime. In a court filing, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office provides additional information regarding the accusations against Donald Trump in his New York criminal case. Welcome to Just Tech. The likelihood of a criminal investigation of charges against Donald Trump is increasing in light of claims by a House panel of a criminal conspiracy involving his aggressive efforts to overturn the results of a 2020 election, as well as a Justice Department investigation into a false electors scheme Trump supporters came up with to prevent Joe Biden's election. Former federal prosecutors claim there is a growing evidence of criminal activity by Trump, which could lead to charges against the former president for either obstructing a congressional hearing on January 6th or defrauding the US government. This is related to Trump's weeks-long campaign with key allies to undermine Biden's election by spreading false allegations of fraud. In a court filing on March 2nd, the House panel accused Trump of participating in a criminal conspiracy to prevent Congress from certifying Biden's victory. Justice Department investigations into a false electors scheme and seditious conspiracy charges brought against Oath Keepers who attacked the Capitol also pose legal threats to Trump, according to department veterans. The House panel looking into the pro-Trump mob's attack on the Capitol on January 6th declared in its filing that it had a good faith basis for concluding that the president and members of his campaign engaged in a criminal conspiracy to defraud the United States. A federal court filing involving top Trump attorney John Eastman, who has battled on the basis of attorney-client privilege to turn over a significant cache of documents, including emails sought by the committee, disclosed the panel's shocking conclusion regarding Trump's illegal plots. Earlier in January, Rudy Giuliani, a former lawyer for Donald Trump, reportedly oversaw a massive scheme in 7 states that Biden won to replace legitimate electors with phony ones pledged to Trump. Lisa Monaco, the Deputy Attorney General, also disclosed that a criminal investigation was being launched into the scheme. However, some former prosecutors have called on the Justice Department to swiftly accelerate its investigations to focus on the various channels that Trump used to annul the election results while working with important allies like Giuliani in response to the House panel's explosive allegations that he broke the law to do so. The compelling evidence of criminal activity by Trump revealed that the committee in its recent 61-page court filing should spur the DOJ to act expeditiously. Paul Pelletier, a former acting chief of the DOJ's fraud section, told. Given the gravity of the revelations, the department should consider a strike force or even a special counsel to coalesce sufficient resources to focus on these criminal attacks that strike at the heart of our democracy, Pelletier added. There is no time to waste now that the House committee has provided the clearest view yet into how Trump and his campaign apparently schemed to upend our democracy. Other former prosecutors claim that the Justice Department and House panel appear prepared to intensify their legal pressure on Trump. According to Dennis Aftergard, a former federal prosecutor, a pincer movement is emerging in the January 6th investigations of those who conspired to overturn the election. The House Select Committee looking into the Capitol siege and the Justice Department have increased the pressure on Trump's inner circle, putting Trump himself at risk. Last month, Trump sparked fierce backlash by threatening to organize large-scale protests in DC, Atlanta, and New York if vicious and racist prosecutors in those cities looking into his political and business dealings do anything illegal. Trump and his attorneys have unsuccessfully fought to keep the White House records from the panel on the grounds of executive privilege. According to former prosecutors, the Justice Department is currently conducting at least 2 significant criminal investigations that might be used to prosecute Trump personally. In Michigan and New Mexico, where phony elector states were put together with resistance from the Trump campaign and prominent supporters like Rudy Giuliani, who has also been subpoenaed by the House panel to testify and provide documents, the criminal investigation into false electors was sparked by state attorney generals' referrals. In addition, the department disclosed last month that it had reached a plea agreement with one of the roughly dozen Oath Keepers who had been accused of conspiring to sabotage Biden's certification by attacking Congress on January 6th. In addition, the Fulton County District Attorney in Georgia has called a special grand jury to look into Trump's high-pressure call to Brad Raffensperger, the Georgia Secretary of State, on January 2nd, asking him to find 11,780 votes to overturn Biden's victory in the state. Given the claims made by the House panel that Trump and his campaign participated in a criminal conspiracy to prevent Biden from taking office, these federal and state investigations may pick up some steam. The panel's specific allegations, according to several former prosecutors, might result in a criminal referral to the Justice Department, which prosecutors would likely review seriously. To know more details about this, continue watching and subscribe to Just Tech, as well as enabling that bell icon to stay updated for more interesting content just like this. According to Aftergut, the committee's sworn evidence-based claim that former President Trump colluded to rig the election sends an unambiguous message. A criminal referral to the Department of Justice is leaving the station. In a March 9th Washington Post op-ed co-written with Harvard law professor Lawrence Tribe, Aftergut argued that the best way to reassure the public that justice is non-partisan and fears of political fallout will not determine the decision on whether to bring charges is for Attorney General Merrick Garland to name a special counsel to head a Trump-related investigation. Other former prosecutors assert that the Justice Department's ongoing investigations, along with the evidence presented by the House panel on March 2nd that Trump broke the law in a criminal conspiracy, might lead to criminal charges being brought against him and his closest associates. According to Paul Rosenzweig, a former federal prosecutor who worked on Ken Starr's team during the impeachment of Bill Clinton, the seditious conspiracy charges and the recently announced investigation of fake electors indicate that the government is increasingly looking into more serious and significant charges above and beyond the violent events of the day. These developments, along with the ongoing investigation of Trump confidants like Rudy Giuliani, suggest that more charges are likely. Rosenzweig added, "I assume that as part of the ongoing investigation into January 6th, the department already has a dedicated task force looking into potential criminal charges against Trump and his top loyalists. If they do not, they should." According to Aftergut, the House subcommittee had gathered a significant amount of data that should be helpful to criminal investigators looking into Trump's case. The committee had developed a mountain of evidence that could greatly enhance prosecutors' efforts, he added, in course of interviewing more than 600 witnesses. Now let's investigate the New York Attorney General civil lawsuit. Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, filed a fraud lawsuit against Trump and his organization in September. James claimed that between 2011 and 2021, her agency discovered more than 200 instances of false asset appraisals and that Trump exaggerated his net worth by billions of dollars. The program, according to the Attorney General, was designed to help Trump get better insurance and lower interest rates on loans. She added that her investigation had turned up evidence of criminal wrongdoing and had forwarded it to the IRS and federal authorities. What are your views on these lawsuits? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to Just Tech for more interesting videos like this, and feel free to check out some other videos on our channel as well.